back to a Swine TV special report on SwineWeb, Hershey Ag's Prop 12 success story, unveiling the Sow Condos Advantage with Brent Hershey of Hershey Ag. Welcome back to the program, Brent.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
I know you've got some exciting updates. Let's get right to it. How has Prop 12 impacted production jumps in your operations?
Well, you know, Jim, this has been a long journey, obviously. As we watch this unfold, I've been in the business 42 years. And as we watched this whole thing unfold in the early 2000s and said, wow, this change is coming, and we studied it and really said, you know, what do we want to, how would we adapt to this? And we did some experimenting 10 years ago with some different systems, and we really wanted to stick with the individual sow housing. And so as we looked at that, we just said, you know, this whole gestation crate was invented because we wanted to reduce the square footage and basically soldier them in there side by side and have individual housing. Well, we said, hey, we want individual housing still, but we want to have a pen that she can move around freely in. So we came up with the Sow Condo system called, and this is a picture of it. We took gestation crates and cut them out and made pens, and we also have some places, you know, we could also put new penning in, but in this case we just adapted what we had. We removed all our gestation crates in our farm, you know, in my farms. They're all gone. We don't have a gestation crate anywhere. And so we replaced, we had gone to the highest standard three and a half years ago with basically, you know, 35 days post-breeding type thing. And then now we've taken all those breeding crates out, gestation crates out, and went to the sow condo system. And what we like here is that we have an individual sow care. And what we're seeing expressed is that we wean the sow, and she has that 5-6 days where she is recovering from the stress of weaning. So it's really a weaning recovery pen, and she's miserable. You know, she just got weaned, her udder's drying up, she just got taken away from, you know, the litter of piglets, and the body change is happening to her with her udder drying up, and they're grumpy. Sows are grumpy. Anyone will tell you that about weaned sows. They're just going through a time, and I can just imagine, but she's not a happy camper. So we find they come out there, and by having them in their own private pen, that we can protect them as they go through that transition and change over from having a litter and their udder drying up to that ending, and her whole body changing completely to stop making milk and to transition back to an animal that's not nursing. So we love the individual pen sow condos. We'll call them weaning recovery pens. Sow condo has been our term, and we're seeing huge benefits there. The animal comes back on feed quickly. We're seeing, because the animal can move around and exercise while she's in that pen, she's doing well physically. And so we're seeing very big successes with that. Now the next thing, she has feed and water, is now we're breeding in those pens. And what we love about that breeding is that she's individually housed. She has her own area. So we bring the boar down through, and the boar has to come past, obviously, where used to be 70 crates, now there's 18 to 20 sow condos. So we're spread out a lot more. Animals are spread out a lot more. But as the boar is coming towards that pen, she is looking for that boar. And what we're seeing is we look down through those pens, and those animals are spinning in circles, going back and forth, moving. And we think this is all good for her anatomy, for her body, the exercise to her body. And what happens is, till the boar gets there, boar is good, she is more primed to breed. We call it sow foreplay. I mean, for lack of a better term, but we're serious about it. Sure, it's it's a word where it's like, whoa, sow foreplay. But really, the truth of it is that's exactly what's happening. She's getting a chance to see a boar, to express her interest, to be active that boar's coming. Now, when that boar is moved in front of her pen, she stands right there, locks up. We have a person, we go in and breed her from the back, and it's ideal for our people because it's safe. They're in that pen by themselves with her. She's locked up looking at the boar's in the front. There's not another animal around our people bumping or that. And the breeding process goes very well. So we do this now. After that's over, she stays in that pen, and we breed her again tomorrow. As you know, we breed her the next day, that type of thing. So we really like how this is working. And what we see is that the animal, it's just the ideal situation to have her individually housed while she's being bred and protected and kept by herself. Now, the ability to move around, we think is helping too. And we think in all Prop 12 systems, that's a plus, because she's got the ability to exercise and move around during her breeding process in a variety of ways that are being done. But we particularly like the Sow Condo system. So the next thing that's a big thing is the labor to run this system. We have the numbers in now. We're doing it 8 months, 10, going 10, 9 months, 10 months. And we're on facilities that same size animals, same size facility. We had to put another building up to get more square footage because obviously this spreads the animals out. Our labor costs did not go up at all. And we're pretty excited about that. So it's very efficient from the standpoint of labor, and it's very efficient from breeding in the Hershey Ag Sow Condo system. So that's another big plus. Negative, facility costs. We have more square footage now. We have to have more square footage. We can't put an animal in a crate that's 4 inches wider than her and 12 inches longer with her and force her to live like that. Now we have her in a pen that she can move around. She's got her 24 square feet. Our condos are really, they're 45 square feet. They're bigger, 45, 46 for the condos. So there's where we lose, it takes more square footage. That's a building cost. And then we also take our, we move about 2 weeks. We put them in pens of 7 and 8. So we're doing group housing after that. That number though is a fixed number that once we make that investment, we spread that building life out over the life of that building. That's really not a big number. It's what we like about this system is labor has not gone up. Operational efficiencies, we're not seeing any change as far as operational cost. But here's the success story, the great success story. We were running conception rates of low 90s, 92, 90. We do ultrasound at 25 to 30 days. We ultrasound all the sows, so we know. And averages 92s, 93s, which are good conception rates in the industries. Well, what has happened with our Sow Condo breeding is our rates have jumped 3% across the board. We're having rates of 96 and 97% with big groups, 150 sows, 180 sows, not a pool of 8 sows or 10, with a significant number. And we're seeing this just repeated. And we're pretty excited about that because we're saying, well, why is that? What happened? Why is it? There's what we're saying. Why is this conception rate jumping like this? We think it's not rocket science. Bringing this animal has a private area to recover from weaning. This animal has a private area to be bred in. She's able to move around freely. Her body, the anatomy of her body, she's exercising in that pen. That exercise, I mean, it's we all know this. We don't want couch potatoes, right? For us or for our sows, and frankly, sort of what was going on in a gestation crate. She was a couch potato, but with this moving around, we think it just makes sense. So that's a lot. That's a long answer. Sorry about that, Jim.
Well, you're getting everything covered for us, Brent. So are there any other notable findings, or is it mostly that 3% that you just mentioned?
Well, we're walking more. Our whole farm crew's walking more because everything's spread out. So maybe some benefits there because it doesn't, we're all supposed to be walking every day, right? We're supposed to be exercising, but I can't say, hey, farm crews exercise. They do. On the production side, we think we're seeing a drop in mortality, sow mortality. We think we are, but we want more time for that. We have seen an across the board jump in born alive, and we're anxious to have a year, 2 years of data on that to analyze that. But we're currently seeing some, high 15s born alives, mid high 15s. We're very happy about that. We just did some some wean numbers in 12.5, 12.8s that, we're obviously there's not much being left on the table there. Okay. But I think the big thing too with this system, we don't have any compliance issues or authentication because we don't have a gestation crate. So it's a simple system to run, and I think that's important too. But it's just we studied this individual sow pen thing for 10 years, and we had actually made some different ones over the years and put them back and tried different things. But when this came around, this is the system we decided to go with, and we're pretty happy with it.
So success is all around, Brent. Any other takeaways or challenges that you've encountered implementing Prop 12?
Well, obviously, putting another building up, buying more square footage, that was a challenge. Changing over the farms, cutting out all those crates, whether you cut them out and retrofit or you buy new penning, that's a challenge, obviously. But with these conception rates that we're seeing and the operational efficiencies, we're saying, whoa, hey, this is better. This is better. We're seeing things we didn't really think we could do that at those levels. And I'm not saying there isn't other people hitting those levels in the industry, but they're top of the industry numbers. They just are.
Did California get it right, Brent?
It's kind of interesting. We're all saying that California doesn't know anything about what we're doing, and they're dictating what we do. And here we are. We make these changes, and we're doing better. It's kind of ironic. I sit back and think, well, they knew better what we needed to do in our industry than we knew. I mean, it's kind of a shame that we let it go that long. We should have changed to this years ago. You'd have to say today, if you invented a system like this to house animals, any animal, it would not be allowed. Just wouldn't be allowed. And I think that's a piece of the thing that is played out. I have to think, well, here we are, we're fighting this. Why are we fighting it? This is, there's adopted changes have to happen. Nobody likes that. But at the same time, if production goes up and at the same time, what we're doing for the animal is really what we should have done a long time ago. We as an industry should have seen this, that an animal should be able to move around freely. And that fact is underlying. And California just kind of put their foot down and said, this is ridiculous. We're going to make you change. And, obviously we had to adapt as an industry and do it. But here we are, better off. So yeah, California got it right.
Well, Brent Hershey, keep up the great work, and thanks for the update today.
Okay.